This is on the orders of Srila Bhakti Pawan Janardhan Mahārāj from Sokalpuri, California. We're trying to be of some service to the servitors. Let me bring on our panelists for today. Dandat Pranam, Shripad Chinmay Dev Prabhu.
Dhanavad Prabhu.
So Arun Prabhu is, I think he's on the road, so he will probably call in if he can. So, FYI. We will be starting with chapter 1, which is Krishna consciousness, love and beauty. So if anyone wants to follow along, that's what the name of the chapter is, the first chapter. At the beginning of the 20th century, the Bengali poet Hemachandra wrote, "There are so many countries rising in prominence. This land, that land. Japan is a very small country, but it is rising like the sun. Only India is under eternal slumber." When he mentioned the other part of the world, he said America is rising forcefully, and as if he is coming to swallow the whole world. Sometimes he is shouting as if with a war cry, and the whole world is shivering. His enthusiasm is so intense and great that he wants to snatch the world from the solar system and give it a new shape, a new molding. America has been mentioned in this way by Hemachandra. In the same way, Bhaktivedanta Swami Mahārāj came to give the world a new shape through Krishna consciousness. What is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness means real love and beauty. Real love and beauty must predominate, not selfishness or exploitation. Generally, whenever we see beauty, we think that beauty is to be exploited. But actually, beauty is the exploiter. Beauty is the master, and beauty is the controlling principle. And what is love? Love means sacrifice for others. We should not think that sacrifice is to be exploited by us. Who is to be the recipient of sacrifice? Is it our party? No. We are in the group of those who sacrifice themselves. The predominated negative party, Mahabhav's party. The underlying principle of love is sacrifice. But sacrifice for whom? And who is the beneficiary? Love is the beneficiary. Everyone should contribute to the center, but no one should draw energy from there. Die to live. With this spirit, we should combine and work for real love and beauty. Banner of love. And beauty will be victorious in the world. Love will be victorious in the world. We will sacrifice everything to see that the banner of divine love will flutter all over the world. For a particle of that divine love will be able to keep peace and distribute peace in all directions. Just as fighting soldiers dedicate everything and give their lives so their countrymen will benefit in the future, We should sacrifice our lives and work to bring real peace for everyone. In Vrindavan, the land of Krishna, the standard of sacrifice is unlimited. Devotees there are willing to risk everything for Krishna. If that principle of sacrifice is enthroned, then peace will automatically follow. Krishna consciousness should be enthroned above all other conceptions. All other conceptions are meant to be subservient to Krishna consciousness. The ideal of Vrindavan, Krishna's abode, is above all other ideals. In theistic comparison, the conception of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is above all other conceptions. There, theism reaches its zenith. That is our highest goal, and step by step, that should be explained, thought out, accepted, and preached. Atomic death. Without this, what sort of benefit are you expecting from your present engagement? Only death is awaiting you. You are so proud of this scientific civilization and are boasting so much. But death is awaiting you, whether it is atomic death or natural death. You can't cross death. One English poet has written, "The boast of heraldry, the pomp of power, and all that beauty, all that wealth ever gave, awaits alike the inevitable hour. The paths of glory lead but to the grave." This is Thomas Gray's, he wrote this. You do not care to solve the greatest danger. You say that you are big thinkers, that you are great men, and that you should command the respect of society. But the general inevitable problem for every atom here is death. What is your contribution for solving the greatest danger which is waiting to devour everyone? Scientist, insect, or virus? What is your solution to death? Have you taken any steps to solve the universal danger? What you are doing at present is exploitation. And you are encouraging a lower life as a recreation. You are exploiting nature, and everyone who is deriving the benefits will have to pay to the farthing with interest. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This is your statement. But what have you done to solve that? He's putting it back, just a little pause. He's saying this is your statement, but what are you doing to solve it? You are endangering the fate of the world by your fascinating proposals of apparent comfort. What is this? You are avoiding the greatest inevitable danger, so your life is a useless mal-engagement. In one sense, you are traitors to society. Come with courage to face and solve the real problem, the common problem, and the most dangerous problem. Otherwise, you should leave the field and go away. Leave it to us. We shall prove that the world is an abode of perfect happiness. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Dive deep into reality. But to understand this, you will have to dive deep. Not into the plane of body and mind, but into the plane of soul. You will have to dive deep into the reality that is within us. It is not a foreign thing to be acquired by loan, but the soul is within everyone, even the insects and the trees. So, we have to rise to the plane of soul. Eliminate both your physical and mental encasements and find out your real self. There you will find the key, the clue to the proper world where life is worth living. The solution is there. A hint is given by many Mahajanas, by great saints in every religious sect to some extent. But our claim is that India has given the highest conception of the spiritual world in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So we challenge all of you. We are not imaginists. We are not imaginationists. We are most practical thinkers. We don't avoid any great problem by saying, oh, it can be solved. We do not belong to the party that wants to easily take prestige and fame. We don't want to classify ourselves with those hoaxing people. Come and see whether the plane of reality can be found. You are not required to spend any less energy in your campaign. So take our program, try it, and see. Where are you? Who are you? What is the real nature of the world? In the Quran, in the Bible, and in the Vedas, and in every other scripture, a hope and hint has been given about the life of reality. Is this all a hoax? What charm have the materialists given? What charm is only, that charm is only for the self-deceivers, and that is dragging them into the country of loan and debt. The land where every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So a divine civilization should be drawn out into this plane. We have to try the path that has been suggested by the great saints and scriptures. It is not unreasonable. It is not madness. Come, reason can also be applied there. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a solution to all our problems with an allegorical example. He said, we see that you are poor, but there is a happy solution. Your wealth is underground in your own room. Just try to unearth it. Don't approach it from the southern side, the give and take method of karma. For then, whatever you do will bring some reaction that will capture and disturb you. And you will have no time to reach the proper solution. If you approach the hidden wealth from the western side, through the yoga system, by manipulating the subtle forces of nature to attain supernatural mystic power that will enchant you and take your attention away from the desired goal. Your own activity in the wrong direction will create obstacles to your achievement. Now, this next section is the Samadhi Phantom. If you approach the treasure from the north, the side of that grand Brahmasmi, the impersonal conception, with the help of misinterpreted Vedantic logic then you will enter into eternal Samadhi. That great phantom will swallow you up. Your existence will be nowhere. And who will come to enjoy the peace of getting the wealth? Only if you approach from the eastern side with the help of devotion will you get the wealth easily. That is the direction of the sunrise, the light giving direction. And that light is not prepared by our own hand. That light is from the source of all light, the revealed truth. It is extended from the quarter which is unknown to us. That light is revealed knowledge, Bhakti, the path of devotion. Adopt that path in your search for the real wealth within you, and easily you will find your own self, which is most wonderful. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam, ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanya, ascharyavat chaenam anna shunoti, shutta painam vedana chaiva kaschit. Discovering that your own self is so wonderful, you will be ashamed. Discovering that your own self is so wonderful, you will be ashamed, thinking, how could I have been carried away by the charm of this mundane world? I am the soul. How was it possible for Maya to have such enchanting power over me that my own self, which is so wonderful and so valuable, was drawn into illusion? The peace which is within me has been greatly admired by the spiritual stalwarts. But I have come in connection with mortal and nasty, rotten things. How? It is most wonderful, but I was deceived. Then from Atma to Paramatma, from soul to supersoul, then from Vasudev to Narayan, and then from Narayan to Krishna. The progressive understanding in God realization is not unscientific. It is really scientific. This is Vigyan, scientific knowledge. Jnanam teham savigyanam, jnanam teham savigyanam, idam vakshayam sheshata, yajgyata anya bhuyo nyaj, gyatavyam avashishyate. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse number 2, Krishna says, Arjun, now I shall explain to you scientific knowledge not only about the soul, but also about its potency. The mind, the senses, and the modes of nature are all non-atma or material. There is a direct and indirect approach towards reality, which I shall now explain to you. Please listen attentively to me. Jnanam teham savigyanam. What is this? There is myself and my potency and the jiva. The living entity is the marginal potency which is filling up all these material worlds. If the jiva shakti, the spiritual potency, were withdrawn, then everything would be stone. And who would care for exploitation? All this fighting tendency, this tendency for exploitation would stop. If the marginal potency, the jiva, were withdrawn from matter, everything would be dead. The soul has entered into this material consciousness and has made it a moving thing. You should understand this properly in a scientific way. We are not lacking in our ability to give you a scientific explanation. The plane of self-deception. I want to take a little pause here and welcome everyone who's joining in. Namaskar, Dandat Pranam.
Dandavad.
So the next section reads, plane of self-deception. A higher conception of the finer world is here. It is real, and where you are trying your utmost to make a stand, the place that you consider real is unreal. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 69. You are asleep to your real self-interest and the real truth, while you are awake in the plane of self-deception. We must establish ourselves in the plane of reality and try our best to extend it to others. And to preach means this: I sincerely have faith in Krishna consciousness and relish it to the utmost. I find that my future prospect is also here. Because I feel that it is very tasteful, useful, and wholesome, I have come to distribute it to you, my friends. We should guide our lives according to the principles of Krishna consciousness, as taught by the spiritual master. Take it and you will be successful in fulfilling the goal of your life. Namaskar Anilji, welcome.
Hare Krishna, sir.
Hare Bo, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So the next section reads here, Rasa, happiness, ecstasy. Anilji, we are reading from The Search for Sri Krishna Reality the Beautiful. That's the literature we're reading from. This is the book.
Okay, sir.
And we are on chapter 1, Krishna Consciousness, Love and Beauty, and we've covered several sections. Now we are moving to the section on page 34 that reads Rasa, happiness, ecstasy. So if you want, you can follow along.
Sure, I will follow you, right? Unfortunately, I don't have that book, right?
Yeah, no problem. We're reading, so you just need to listen and...
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right. In this way, we have to approach everyone with God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. We must show how God consciousness ultimately merges in Krishna consciousness. We have to prove dexterously, step by step, that Krishna is the servitor, is the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. Akhil Rasamrita Murti. What is Krishna consciousness? Rupa Goswāmī has given a scientific definition. Rasa, pleasure, cannot be avoided. We are all after rasa. Everyone, every unit, even the smallest unit of the world is always hankering after rasa, happiness, ecstasy. And all possible phases of rasa are personified in Krishna. Try to understand how it is. What is rasa? What is its nature? How can a comparison in rasa be drawn? In this way, step by step, you will have to come to the Krishna conception of Godhead. It is not a tale from the ancient Indian scriptures. Krishna is not the object of a tale, but fact. So, just to pause here, Anilji, you must have heard, and we are all, we all hear it. According to Hindu mythology,
Sir, I still remember that discussion, like, so after that I stopped calling mythology.
so that's why it's
So
historical.
It's
Yeah.
part of that mindset, right, which has been so changed in a planned way. I would say change, which has been forced to change in the planned way that we now are saying those are the mythology, right?
Yes. And what we say we believe in, and it does reflect our consciousness. So we need to be conscious of what we are saying and what we're believing, because that can be detrimental according to Hindu mythology. Okay, back to Param Guru Maharaj. It is not a tale from the ancient Indian scriptures. Krishna is not the object of a tale, but fact. You have to come out and face that living fact, that reality. We shall try our best to show you how it can be a fact. Krishna is a fact. He is a reality, and reality is for itself. You have to pay for the goal. You must die to live. And in this way, you will feel that it is not a hoax. When you progress on the path, you will feel it. Bhakti pareshanubhavo viraktiranyatra. With every step forward, you will feel these three things: satisfaction, nourishment, and the eradication of your hunger. Tushti pushti kshudapayo nughasam. With every morsel. Tushti pushti kshudapayo. You will feel these three things: satisfaction, nourishment, and the eradication of your hunger. Your hankering in general will be diminished. Generally, we feel, I want this, I want that, I want everything. Still, I have not satisfied my hunger. But you will feel that your hunger is being appeased as you progress in Krishna consciousness. And what you previously thought would give you relief will take leave from you automatically. Their trade won't continue. They will all withdraw. Your natural inclination for spiritual advancement will automatically increase, and you will find acceleration in your progress. You will practically feel these three things. And what are those three things? Tushti, pushti, kshudapayo. So come and take what we say. In this way, you have to approach one and all, leaving the result to the Lord. Fruits of energy. We are only agents, and we are working because He has ordered us. So we must remember what is bhakti, what is devotion proper. Whatever I do, the wage I earn must not come to me. I am only an agent. The benefit should go to the proprietor, to my master, Krishna. We should move with this idea, and that will be bhakti proper. Otherwise, we will be engaged in karmakand, fruit hunting. I want to enjoy the result of karma for myself, but the result should go to my master. I am his servant, and I am working under his order. I am his slave. I am not the proprietor. I am not the proper person to be the recipient of the fruits of energy. The master of energy is the Supreme Lord, and all the products of energy should go to Him. It must not be tampered with on the way. This should be the attitude of every worker. Then it will be bhakti proper. We are not the recipients. He is the recipient. We must always be conscious that the only beneficiary is He. Only then we are devotees. We are not the beneficiaries, but selfless workers. It is said in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 47. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal heturbhur ma tisangostva karmani. You have a right to perform your duty, but you have no right to enjoy the fruits of your work. This is a great warning. Krishna says, do not think that because you are not the beneficiary of the fruits of your action, you have no reason to take so much trouble to work. Never. That is the most heinous curse, to think that because I am not the beneficiary, I am not going to work. Even selfless activity is also of a lower order. Rather, we must perform godly activity for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. That is bhakti or devotion. And there is also a gradation in bhakti. There is a big division called Vidhi Bhakti, Raga Bhakti, calculative devotion, and spontaneous devotion.
Prabhu,
Yes.
could you kind of elaborate a little bit on this, the difference between selfless activity and bhakti? Because they do seem similar.
Yes, that's a good point, because selfless activity means something that is not for me, like people engage in, let's say, charity or any acts of benevolence, benefiting others, society, various kinds of movements that are going on right now. It's not for me, it's for my countrymen, the flag, but these are all like extended selfishness, because we are still missing that center where all energy belongs. We are not putting back energy in that direction. So tangentially, it is still off the center. Even if by 1 degree, if it is off, then it is not completely selfless. There is some self-interest. So that's why in the Bhagavad Gita the Lord says, Yad karosh, yad ashnas, yad juhoshi dadas, yad tapasyashi kaunte tad kurushva mad arpanam. Always remember your selfless activities, whatever you have, whatever you give away in charity, whatever you consume, try to do it for me, Krishna. That will be perfect. No account, positive or negative, will come to the person. It will be his account. Gurudev explains it like this, very nicely and in a simple way, that because we all understand credit and debit better than anything else. So he explains it like that. Like no debit will come to you, it will all go to Krishna's account. And that is the perfect way of acting in Krishna consciousness versus selfless activity. Any kind of selfless activity, which will still be coming as a debit or a credit to the individual account, not to the master's account. So that's the difference. Anilji, does that make sense?
Absolutely, sir. So, like the way you explain that if even at 1 degree off the center, it is not a 9, like, so until it is not towards that center, there is some kind of self-interest, right?
Exactly. So the mathematical equation is not exact. There is some 0.001 degree off or something off, right? That's why to make it accurate, like 100%, that's what we need to do, which is given by the Lord Himself for all of us. And that's how our gurus, our guardians are explaining and trying for us to understand. So if we get together and in a nice way we try to understand this, it is the most logical actually and the most scientific. And doing it actually is not, it's actually really wonderful. About Bhakti it is explained, Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmayam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Susukham. Susukham means very wonderfully, nicely performed. No need for unnecessarily troubling yourself or going to caves or any other, like these austerities. Some of these austerities, walk on coal, like burning hot coal, and other kinds of things. You don't have to do all of that. Susukham kartum avyayam. Just nice exchanges with devotees. Dadati pratiganati guhyam akhyati prachati bhunkate bhojyate chaiv shadveda priti lakshanam. That's how you develop affection, dealing with devotees, hanging with devotees, and learning from each other, give and take. So having prasadam, online sanghas, like that. It is susukham kartum avyayam. But at the same time, it is Raj Vidya. It is not something ordinary. Raj Vidya means what? The king of all knowledge. Raj Guhyam. Guhya means the most hidden secret of all secrets. Raj Guhyam. Pavitram. Idam Uttamam. Uttama. Uttama means transcendental. Tama. Of the gunas, Uttama. See, in one verse he's explaining what the position of bhakti is compared to all the other activities that we engage in. That this yoga, that yoga, Hatha Yoga, Kriya Yoga, they're all in their places, but the Lord Himself says, so listen to Him. Why listen to anyone else? He is saying it. So we take His word, right? I mean, people read Bhagavad Gita to prove their point. And they miss the point. Because to read Bhagavad Gita or to read the scriptures, to actually take the point from the Lord with the help of the divine agents, the teachers, who are like transparent media, and they help us amplify and get that object in focus so we can, it is accessible to us, more accessible to us. But contrary to all of this, we have been taught and we've grown up in this environment where people come and read Bhagavad Gita, call themselves Mahatmas, have their own opinions, and then peddle those for money and fame. And we keep lapping that up. So it's unfortunate. That's what Śrīla Śrīdhar Mahārāj is saying. That's what Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said. We take the word of the Lord. Why don't you listen to him? And he's saying very openly, he's telling each and everything. Everything is scientifically explained. Yet people prefer to be baffled. So, what can be done? So if go ahead.
We could also say another quality of bhakti is that it's completely natural. It's actually a natural position of a jiva soul.
Yes.
One of the servant of the Lord.
Absolutely. Very well said. And that prompts me. Srila Rupa Goswami says the effects about bhakti. He says, Klesha Gni, Shubhada, Moksha Laguta Krat Sudurlabha, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Shri Krishna Karshani Chasa. So he's given these, says Klesh, you understand, right? Klesh, all the trials and tribulations that we go through, the embarrassing trials and tribulations of material existence, that is called, in summary, that's called Klesh. Klesh Agni. Gni means killer. Like you've heard the word Shatrugna, right? Shatrugna. Gna means to kill the killer of or the vanquisher of the enemy. So Klesh Agni. Shubhada, all auspiciousness. You follow this path, and all auspiciousness shall follow. Shubhada. Moksha. Now moksha is what liberation is, what everyone is after. The Vedantists, the others, the yogis, they're after moksha. And here Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, moksha lagutakrat. It will show you how puny the conception of moksha is. That's the position of bhakti. Moksha lagutakrat sudurlabha. But yeah, the other thing is that it is very, very difficult and hard to find. Sudurlabha. So anyway, because of Sripad Chinmoy Dev's beautiful thoughts, I was prompted to repeat that verse by Srila Rupa Goswami. So, unless there is something else, unless there is something else, I would like to pause here and then also mention that one of our regular attendees, Shamaji, she had a loved one pass away a year back, and so today is his. It was her husband, and so today is her 1 year birthday, and so she had asked everyone to please pray for. Pray for his so that he may find the highest destination. So if the devotees are merciful, then that is very helpful. And give me a second, I'll be right back. Please continue the discussion.
I would like to offer my respectful obeisances and praise to Goswami Mahārāj, who compiled this book. He did an absolutely wonderful job, and Guru Dev considered this book and there's the other book, Golden Volcano, I can't remember. He considered them as beauty.
Absolutely. And I would join you in that. Preeti ji, namaskar.
Namaskar.
I think there is some noise coming from. Was your mic?
It was Sangeeta.
Oh, Sangeeta ji. Yeah. Okay, got it. All right. Not you, Preeti ji. Sorry.
Yeah, I was. Oh, but mute. I was in mute.
No problem. Yeah, no, I didn't know. Thank you.
Why? I think that's you just make.
Yeah. You know, just get up on this.
That was Chinmay Prabhu. That was all the devotees. Jai Ram.
Namaskar. Jai. Ramananda Prabhu.
Namaskar Prabhu. Thank you for explaining. You explain very nicely. I see even Gurudev explaining, still people don't get it. Śrīla Guruma explains so nice, makes so simple and so sweet. But yeah, I've seen so many people just, I don't know, I just, it's pretty or whatever. Yeah, Gurudev explains so beautifully, so nicely. Yeah. Thank you. You make it more easy, sweeter.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you. No, it's very nice. Yeah, it's beautiful. I never had time to read so much, but I listen to Guru Mahārāj, Param Guru Mahārāj, Gurudev. I was lucky to be able to do some service, but yeah, sadhu sangha. Like Param Guru Mahārāj said, bird of feather flock together. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Jai.
भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंदा
Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktavinda
हरिहराय नमः कृष्णाय यादवाय नमः
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha
यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन
Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan
श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता चंद्र
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा
Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda
जय रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Śrīdhar Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Ichai Gosai Jar Ichai Gosai Jari Charana Bandhan.
Eshai Gosai Kari Charana Bandhan.
Jaha hoite Vignana Shabishta Puran.
Jaha hoite Vigna Nasa Vishta Puran.
Ichai Gosai Jar Muitaradas.
Eshai Gosai Jaya Muitaradas.
Tan Sabara Padarenu Mora Panchagras.
Tastabara Padarenu Mora Panchagras.
Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas.
Tadira Charane Se Vibhakta Sanevas.
Janame Mora Ei Abhilash.
Janame Mora Ei Abhilash.
Ichai Gosai Jabe Braja Koilabas.
Eshai Gosai Jabe Braja Kalabas.
Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash.
Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Anande Bala Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas.
Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Das.
Harinam Sankirtana Kahe Narottama Das.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Okay, Anika ji, please take it away.
गोविंद सुंदर गिरधारी गोपी लाजू की जय।
Jai.
जय ओम विष्णु पाद प्रणाम शापरवरी चक्रावरी अष्टदश सतश्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सुंदर देव गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय ओम विष्णु पाद प्रणाम शापरवरी चक्रावरी अष्टदश सतश्री श्रीमद् भक्ति रसक देव गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय ओम शापर अष्टनाथ सतश्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सनातन सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय। जय ओम गोरखेश्वरदास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय ओम नंद भक्ति नोदा ठाकुर की जय। जय ओम जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुग गौरवर्ग की जय। हरिदास प्रभु की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री बलदेव विद्याभूषण की जय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती प्रभु की जय। श्री नरोत्तम श्यामंद श्री वैष्णव प्रभु की जय। की जय। नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण
जय।
लक्ष्मी देवा की जय।
Could you repeat that? Anika? You lost your sound. Just that last part. Joy.
की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। गंगा जमुना जी की जय।
Joy.
राजा सब की जय। मात की जय। तोजस मात की जय। श्री चैतन्य सरस्वती मात की जय। विश्व भव्यता जैसे मात की जय। की जय। दाम दाम की जय। रुकने जी की जय। गोविंद कुंड की जय। श्री शिव गंगा जी की जय। समवेत वैष्णव मंडल की जय। भक्त की जय। हरिनाम सच्चिदानंद की जय। नित्य गौरंदे हरि हरि बोल।
हरी हरी बोल। जय श्री अनिका जी, प्रीति जी एंड विक्रम जी की जय। और डिवाइन पैनलिस्ट श्रीपाद चिन्मय देव प्रभु की जय। श्री अनिल जी की जय। रामानंद जी की जय। नंदरानी दीदी की जय। संगीता जी की जय। एंड I don't know who the third person is की जय। जय जय
राम प्रभु की
जय। श्रीला भक्ति पावन जनार्दन महाराज की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य सारस्वत मठ आचार्य वृंद की जय। श्रीला भक्ति निर्मलाचार्य महाराज की जय। श्री चैतन्य सारस्वत मठ सन्यासी वृंद की जय। नित्याय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।